A mother comes into A&E with a child who's bleeding profusely and refuses to allow you to administer the blood transfusion. Why do you think this may be, and what would you do? At the end of the day, I'm saving a child. A child is not dying from my hands. I'm not having blood on my hands. Well, obviously I will if I'm doing a blood transfusion, possibly because the child is bleeding profusely, but obviously metaphorically not having blood on my hands. She's either got one of three problems. Either A, she's medically illiterate, B, she's a Karen, or C, she's got a lack of cognitive function. You come to A&E because your son or your daughter is losing blood profusely. Profusely means there is a substantial amount of blood that's being lost from their body. What part of you doesn't comprehend the fact that they need that blood to be replenished? Like, do you want your child to die? Is that what it is? Have you got some deranged psyche? I can't lie, I'd probably just proceed with the blood transfusion. Anyways, allow this mother... Okay, first and foremost, whenever I ask this question to someone, they always start talking about Jehovah's Witnesses. The question isn't talking about Jehovah's Witnesses whatsoever. Okay, Jehovah's Witnesses are people that refuse blood transfusions, but just everyone that refuses a blood transfusion isn't a Jehovah's Witness. Let's get out of the way from the start. Right, let's go. So first and foremost, what I want you to know is that you need to appreciate why the mother doesn't want her child to undergo a blood transfusion. Maybe she's worried about infection, maybe of her child getting HIV or hepatitis, whatever. And you need to be able to address that. However, if they instantly need a blood transfusion, it's a matter of life or death. Does a child have capacity? If they're a child, they could be any age below the age of 18. If they're a 16-year-old that's competent and has capacity, they can understand the information, retain the information, and communicate it back to you, then you can override the mother's decision. Okay, if the blood transfusion is not urgent and this mother still doesn't want it to happen, then you need to get a court order or converse with a multidisciplinary team and ask them to help. Conversing with a senior colleague on this matter is the best way forwards because obviously it gives the opportunity to network. But if there isn't time for that, you'll have to proceed with a blood transfusion, and any court of law will be able to defend you as long as you have backed reasoning behind why you delivered that blood transfusion in the first place. But 9 times out of 10, if you appreciate the mother's concerns, why she's worried about the blood transfusion, then the problem gets solved on its own.